So with thermal imaging, you should be able to see me in there.
Yeah.
Right, I'm the red, orange, and yellow guy.
Yeah.
When I have my bridal or my bachelorette parties, I'm the hottest guy in the photo.
Okay.
So that's supposed to be a joke. We're gonna have fun, kind of like
I'm gonna have fun.
It's okay. We're gonna get her going too.
I'm having fun. Yes.
What are we looking for in here? What do you think?
White.
No.
Green.
Well, what?
Ghost.
Right, but how?
Red.
This is a thermal imaging camera.
Red, orange.
I'm red and orange. That means I'm a ghost.
I would think white. No.
But we're not thinking of a color. I'm kind of going behind the science of this. Like obviously
Shadow.
we're looking for cold spots.
What is that?
Cold.
So how does that come up?
Blue and black.
But that's a window and it's blue and black.
Exactly. So, again, this is a real thermal imaging camera. This is what firemen use to actually help save people.
Oh.
This isn't a phone app or some crazy whatever. Like, this is the real deal. So there are going to be blue and black things in there all the time, especially when somebody's skin tone is in there. Because if I take me out of it, that blue and black will start to change color. Right. See how the building turned orange? And now the windows are just blue. So they're probably going to turn black once I enter the picture.
Okay.
So the whole point of this is we're looking for those blue and black spots that either take shape or start moving on their own. Those normally take shape in the shape of a person, a face, a hand, anything of those kind of natures.
Yeah, that would be so fun.
Right.
Now, we have caught things with this on the tours in the past. So again, but if we're not recording, we're not going to be able to capture anything.
Okay.
So with that said, this one is actually going to go to you, Alyssa. So you're going to hold this just like this. It's already recording. We already have it started. The cool thing, too, I'm sure you're going to notice is there's a little blue dot bouncing around. You see where it's kind of going all over the place? It's giving you the coldest spot in the frame at that particular moment. It's going to help direct your eye when you get your video back tomorrow morning. So when I'm spot checking this, it's just a matter of I'm not always watching the blue dot. I'm looking for the black spots, too. So again, there's a lot that goes into this, but you're basically going to be our ghost viewer. So,
am I going to see anything, or you'll just see it and playing back?
Either way. So we've caught things in real time, and we have caught things the next day.
When you see it.
Yeah, when I review it. And if I find something, I obviously give you the marker, like, hey, at 55 minutes and 32 seconds, there's a blue anomaly moving by that I can't explain, or there's a major temperature difference of 15 degrees or more.
Yeah.
So again, I usually look for those 15-degree temperature drops. That's a big difference.
Okay.
Especially on a nice cool night like this.
Sure.
So.
Okay.
You. Jess, are going to be double-fisted because we're a small group.
Okay.
So you're going to have two things. What? Yeah. You're going to be using two different styles.
I'm a believer. Give me the ones that the ghosts are going to come to. We talk sometimes.
Good, because I'm going to give you something to talk back to them. So this is a spirit box. I actually use 5 different styles of spirit box, but I love using this one with smaller groups because it records. If you're not familiar with a spirit box, it is basically on your TV shows the white noise, and then Zach Bagans will give you the bullshit he thinks he heard in the middle of the screen, trying to convince you of the same thing. This one works a little bit differently because I slowed it down. You're not trained to listen to white noise for 2 hours.
Right.
You're going to fall asleep. We're going to be talking about history, which can be very boring. However, the white noise on top of the history, yeah, you're going to fall asleep for sure. With this being slowed down, the radio chatter is going to come through. Song lyrics, DJs, and commercials. That's what you're listening for. In the event that you hear something and you can make it out, like, hey, buy a Kia today, I want to know that you heard buy a Kia today. Again, I know it sounds silly. If you hear the song Drop It Like It's Hot, it might mean that there was a fire in that location and we're waiting for another clue. So again, it's a matter of piecing the clues together. The cool thing is this is going to record the entire session, and you will be wearing an earbud.
Okay.
I don't want these back, by the way. Your earwax is gross. I buy them in bulk.
Okay.
So she's like, that's weird.
I was just about to ask that.
Yeah, they're brand new. You can see the twist I still on. Now, the recording, I'm going to spot check this tomorrow morning and give you whatever I hear based off of whether it's relevant or not. If it's relevant, I'll give you the explanation based on our location and a link to be able to verify the information.
Okay. So you want me to say, like, hey, they said don't fall down that step, and I just fell.
Right. Even if, no matter how silly you think it is.
Whatever. Okay.
So anything she hears that's a clear voice, she needs to tell you.
Right. And I'll be writing down whatever you hear in real time because I might miss that in the spot check. So especially if it's relevant, I'm definitely going to be writing it down.
Okay.
You're going to hear a lot of garbage and junk and stuff you think is silly, but at the same time, Drop It Like It's Hot or the song Hands on My Knees, that was a big one night, and the couple behind me listening to this thought it was just hysterical because that was one of their favorite songs. However, the word knee was relevant to our space that we were in.
Okay.
So do you kind of see where I'm going with
this?
this?
Yeah, I do.
So we're going to talk more about that.
Right.
But again, you're going to undo that twist tie.
Okay.
Your volume is right here. I'm going to turn it all the way down so that way you don't get blasted when you pop in your earbud.
Right. So put these in.
Yep, go ahead and undo the twist tie first. Again, they're cheap headphones. Stretch them, do whatever you got to do.
Alright. So put these in.
Yeah, just one. Most people
Just one?
Yep.
How come come he's not showing up?
Because your hand's in front of the camera.
Oh.
Oh, that's
Where's the camera?
On the lower left-hand side.
Oh.
all right.
Yeah, try not to hold it by the camera.
You want me to keep that tied up though, right?
No.
All right.
It's whatever you're comfortable
Oh,
with.
all right. Okay.
So you're listening
what do I
for
have to do?
messages.
That's it?
So find the
Where's
volume.
the volume?
It's the wheel at the top. You're going to have to feel for it because it's black. You won't be able to see it.
Oh, okay.
You found it now? Do you hear the radio stations coming through?
Yeah.
Okay, so those radio stations, again, you're going to hear little voices giving you little tiny blips of words. I want to know what those tiny
All right.
blips of words are. The second thing I'm
Oh
going
my
to
god,
give
I
you.
have really special. I can't believe I got the hearing. This is so exciting.
Oh my goodness, you have supersonic hearing!
This is so fun.
Oh my god, she has supersonic hearing.
Special hearing.
Awesome. This guy, so that way you can actually stay focused on that as well.
Okay.
Normally you would see like the little blinky EMF detectors, like when, on the TV shows, it measures electromagnetic fields and it blinks and it's, oh my god, a ghost is nearby. Yeah, this is a digital version of that and way more accurate. So you're going to be looking at this top number pretty much through the entire evening as you're listening. So anything above 2.5 on the big number, I want to know what's going on. We're going to debunk a lot of wires, cell phones being too close, so forth and so on.
Anything above 2.5.
2.5.
Okay.
So
And I just say, so my two jobs are 2.5 and above and any special words.
You got it.
What does she
Clear
say?
words.
What does she say if
Clear
she sees
words,
2.5?
right?
Like ghost, ghost, ghost?
No, she'll tell me what number she's seeing, so that way we can analyze what's going on with the space.
Yeah, and then I'll say, hey, they just said there's a tree branch or whatever, something
Right.
I hear clear. Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
So I'm going to be working tonight too. I'm gonna be using-
What are you doing?
So I normally have a phone set up with this specific app, but I'm going to be using it on my personal phone. So what this does is it gives us a word from time to time in the center of the screen. It'll save all of the words into a list, and I will be able to scroll through it when it starts building up. Now normally we get about 75 to 85 words in a 2-hour time frame.
Where
But
are the words from?
They come from a dictionary that is built into the device. So in the event, it's also listening through radio stations. There's 9,108 terms in there. So in the event that it's going through these stations and recognizes a term from its dictionary, it'll put it on the screen for us. So there's no questioning what it actually heard. Like we're doing this manually with Jess, and we're doing it electronically with
Oh,
mine.
I see.
So it's
Okay.
the same principle. However,
Alright.
this is a phone app. So again, 80% of this is going to be absolute bullshit. It's not going to mean anything. It's just going to be
Right.
generated terms.
Got it.
However, the other 20%, you're going to get the full list back. I'm going to pull this out from time to time.
So
just
we
to kind
might
of see
match.
we might. And that does happen. I've seen that a lot lately in the past, I'd say 6 months or so, where
Okay.
you hear the word tournament and the word tournament showed up here. So again, we never know, and this also has timestamps next to every term. So that way I kind of know exactly where we are based on
Okay.
the timestamp that's there. So this is going to be running in my pocket. But last
Okay.
but not least, I have a brand new device that I'm still testing that I want to continue using. So we're going to pull that one out too.
2.5.
She's all focused on the 2.5. I love it.
I just hit a button.
But I think you need to listen more to the words.
Right.
than the
I just
number.
made it go to 0. I messed up.
Made what go
I
to?
hit a button right there just by mistake.
That's okay.
Oh,
You'll be fine. We're gonna talk more about those buttons later on.
sorry.
That actually has a lot of functions to it. We're just using it for one simple function.
And I might be seeing ghosts in here.
You might.
I
So-
feel like you see so much, it's hard to know what they are.
I know. That's why it's a lot of studying.
Oh.
So this is a brand new device that they just came up with like 3 months ago. So it is in essence a digital Ouija board.
Oh,
So
God,
in
this
essence,
freaked
it's
me
going to
out.
go through all of the cursors, and this is no different than what you're doing with your spirit box. So the letters obviously are all of the alphabet. In the event, like you have a spike of 2.5, it's going to go based off of EMF in the area. Every time there's a spike in EMF, which is your big numbers, like the 2.5 and higher, it's going to stop on that cursor and save the letters to the bottom row. What we're looking for in there are any enneagrams, full names, initials, anything that's going to be relative to the space. Now, this guy is literally brand new to the market. I've only had it for about 2 weeks, maybe 2.5 weeks. We haven't gotten much out of it, so I want to keep testing with it with the sensitivity of the EMF and so forth and so on.
Okay.
So you'll see me pull this guy out from time to time and kind of just see where we're at. So
Okay.
I'm going to slide this in the side pocket so that way I can keep my hands free from when you're hearing things. Again, I haven't had a group this small in a long time, so it's going to be interesting.
Oh, it's gonna be so fun. And also, so they're not gonna like be angry that we're doing this, are they?
No.
Alright.
I'm out here 7 nights a week, dude.
But-
Unless I'm rained out.
No, I mean like the spirits are.
Yeah, they're actually, you're probably going to hear my name. Like, because
they know
me.
you?
Yeah. My name
Okay.
shows up a lot.
What's your name?
Nick.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
again, it shows up all the time.
And they never got angry with you, did bad things.
Sure they
to
have.
you.
But I go back, I make my peace, and I go back the next night. So
They got angry. Not at your home or anything. They don't follow you home, do they?
not anymore. We'll get into that later.
What if they follow me home?
They're not going to. They're not going to be following me. There are things around my bag, attached to my bag, to kind of keep us grounded and safe, and make sure that the paranormal activity cannot harm us in any way.
All right.
You have to remember, this is my profession here. Like, this is what I do.
All right.
So let's talk about
She
why we
thinks
started
we're
here.
insane, but
It's okay.
I'm trying to take pictures.
All right.
Let's talk about why we're here.
Okay.
You guys are going to make me talk a lot, so I'm going to take a quick drink first. So, this bag's actually a lot heavier and bigger than the last one. So, I know I'm the weirdo, so just bear with me on this. And she's like staring at me, like, "What are we doing?"
Oh no, I wasn't. I was just zoning out.
So, Big John's is the reason why we started here.
Okay.
And of course, the place is haunted. So,
Of course.
it was used to be, like, it says established 1955, but it's actually named after a football player. His name was Big John Kennedy. He played for the 1947 New York Giants. He was kind of like a small-time famous
Am
football
I
player.
supposed to have this on?
It's up to you. It's your tour. It's recording even, Steven, no matter what.
Do you
can mess
want
with
me
the
to
volume
take
all you want.
one since this is just doing recording and have to look at anything?
No.
I can take the
Okay.
2.5.
So what I was going to do is, like, I was going to see how you were doing with that, and if you're able to handle the little Ouija board guy too, I was
You're
going to give you
gonna
both of
get
those.
two.
So again, with this one, it is a matter of getting used to the weight of it and shifting hands and that kind of thing, because it is a lot heavier than a normal cell phone. So again, I kind of see how people are doing with it before I give them a second device. So, but Big John.
Yeah. So he played, yeah. All right,
So
that's
whenever-
interesting information.
Well, I'm going to be giving you a lot of interesting
Okay.
information. Normally, when we're talking about the history of a location, I'm going to
Stand
slow
up.
down on
Yeah.
specific keywords.
Okay.
So the keywords here, and it's specifically because of the spirit boxes that we're using, 47, New York, Giants, and anything relative to a bar, obviously, because of where we are.
Yeah.
But here's why it's haunted. John used to sit in the back of the bar. And he would tell the bartender if the cadets that were coming over from the Citadel, if they were old enough to drink or not. One night, 2 guys came in, they weren't old enough to drink. So Big John had the bartender throw them out. They left pretty pissed off and came back the next night. They tried to steal the cash register from the front of the bar. John saw what was going on, and he slammed down his beer, and he went over and started just beating the hell out of these 2 cadets. Well, a couple of gunshots went off. John got grazed in the neck, but the bullet landed behind him in the wall. John got up after being the only one that's been shot and goes back to the bar and tells the bartender to get him another beer, get the 2 guys on the floor, and ambulance. Now, normally if I tell you that a building is haunted, you're thinking of some kind of tragic death that occurred here, right? What's haunting the place is the bullet hole. It's allegedly still here. Even if this renovation of Big John's filled it in, Big John's blood is now sealed inside the building. There's no way they got every single drop of it out. People that sit in the front of this bar tend to get a little queasy, nauseous, or headache. This is why we start here. This is kind of the heated warning. In the event that either one of you start to feel any of those type of symptoms, I'll need to know immediately. We're going to blame it on our weather because the barometric pressure is changing, but we're going to move out of that area and get you a bottle of water and do what we have to do. Again, it's not that people haven't passed out on my tours in the past. That is probably the scariest thing I'm going to tell you all night long.
Seriously?
Seriously.
That
Because
people pass out on your tours.
I've called the paramedics because I've been doing this tour for 3 years, we'll say half a dozen times, and I've had people pass out, feel faint, heart palpitations. I can't tell you how many times I've had to call paramedics. Like, it's been crazy, like just EMTs. Like,
Why? Because the spirits.
It's based on what we're doing
The energy.
and kind of pushing things around and trying to stir things up a little bit.
Okay.
So, but we're going to do it respectfully because of the locations that we're going to are historical monuments for Charleston. So that's what I try to teach people. Like, it's not always the scratchy, whatever demonic things that they show you on TV. That's not what ghost hunting actually
Okay.
is. So, same building. Did you know we had an earthquake here in 1886?
Yes.
Okay, so this building is allegedly where the first death occurred from that earthquake. The white mantle you see in the middle of the building also goes around the front on the East Bay Street side. So they say a piece of that broke off, hit somebody in the back of the head, and killed them. And that was the first death from the earthquake. I said apparently a lot with that because I don't have any proof. Just a great segue, so nobody's thinking about getting sick on this tour. So let's go up to our first spot so we can talk more about your devices, and then we're going to deep dive into history. So we're going to let this car pass, but we're going to actually head up this way.
All right.
Does it flood a lot in Charleston?
Yes.
Yes.
We're below sea level down here.
Whoa. Downtown. Right. It doesn't flood.
Yeah, this actually isn't too bad.
But like that's normal.
Yeah.
It kind of adds to the atmosphere, right?
It depends.
No?
We'll make a left.
Like to the ghost hunting atmosphere.
I do most of my investigations during the day. Ghosts don't give a shit if it's daytime or
Oh,
night.
they don't? That was one of your questions.
They don't give a shit.
Alyssa.
So why do you do it at night?
It's the ambiance for you guys. You guys expect it to be at night, and I also have other cameras that only see at night. So again, it just makes things a lot easier. So we're going to stop here.
Am I supposed to be holding it like this?
No.
Okay.
So we're going to stop here for just a few minutes. You have to imagine, when I have my groups of 10 or 11, I have to further explain 10 to 11 other devices. So this is the big red barn. So this is the Palmetto Carriage Works. This is where we keep some of the horses for the carriage rides. The reason why we start here is because the history here is very simple, and it's just a great explanatory piece for the spirit boxes. So the history is, this is the same red barn that held horses that used to deliver milk and eggs to the residents of Charleston. Very simple. Obviously, keywords here being delivery, milk, and eggs, anything relative to a stable. What's the first question everybody wants to ask a Ouija board? You guys have seen movies?
When am I going to die?
No. Really, you're going to ask a ghost
Their
when you think
name.
you're going to die? What else?
Their name.
What else?
How'd you die?
No, you guys are getting too specific. Is anybody here? Is
Yeah,
very
I
basic.
mean, we asked them serious stuff.
I'm like,
Right.
when am I
Good.
going to die?
Very specific.
That's
when we were
good
little.
because we are not going to be using yes and no questions tonight. Because if we said, is anybody here? And then you hear no on your spirit box, that means somebody's here. Like they
Okay.
answered you.
Okay.
So again,
Okay,
here,
I see a fire
where do you see a fire?
in that window.
Some heat.
Do you see that fire?
I do see it.
See, I'm seeing my first ghost.
There's definitely some heat in there. Can you put that little tiny crosshairs on there?
Sure.
Where's the crosshairs?
Right, the little circle in the center.
Oh.
Okay, let me take a peek.
The light? Do you see the fire?
First off, I think it hasn't calibrated fully, so I'm going to stop the video for a second. You're going to be correct. See how it dropped about 20 degrees?
Shut up. But the fire's still there. Now the fire's more dispersed.
Yeah. So that says it's about 82.7 degrees.
It looks like there's a fire.
It does. I don't know why there would be heat in there. Horses can withstand 70-degree weather perfectly fine. It's super weird. But anyway, back to you. Let's take our news reporter. Back to you. So,
The fire's still there.
again, it's still not hot enough for me to say, like, what the hell is going on there.
What
And remember,
temperature am I
we're
looking
looking
for?
cold.
How cold?
Like
This
15
says-
degrees colder than our ambient temperature, which is about 75 to 76 degrees. So,
So
I'm
we're
looking
looking for like
60.
50
Where
and
do we
60.
see the degrees?
I see it, like
It's right-
81,
yeah.
80.
She has a bunch of cheat sheets on there. There's also a bar on your right-hand side that tells
I
you the
see.
high and low.
Okay, I didn't understand that. Okay.
Okay.
And then mine, how come that's not moving? 0.
No ghost yet.
We don't have any EMF going on.
Oh, okay.
So, as we shouldn't right here, because this is just a
Yeah.
normal parking lot. There's no electrical lines
Oh,
anywhere.
got it.
So, back to the horse stable.
All right,
And
yep.
the answers of questions. When I'm teaching people how to use those spirit boxes, I tell them to ask questions they already know the answers to. For example, if somebody's here, tell me what color the big red barn is. Obviously, we're listening and looking for the color red because looking is going to be based off of this. So, just to kind of take a quick peek, we have 4 words: introduce, Lucy, besides, and own. So, again, nothing of relevance yet because I don't know who the hell Lucy is. So, again, names and numbers
Or
normally
Owen.
don't lie. What's that?
Or Owen.
I said own.
Owen. Oh, I thought the name Owen. Okay.
So, obviously, you're listening for the color red, but you're listening to song lyrics and DJs. The word red might not be available to them. Fire truck, blood, hearts are 3 things that are specifically red, and I would take that as an acceptable answer because it would be direct. What color is the big red barn? Blood. I'm good with that. Most of the night, I'm going to require that there's at least 2 things going on among different devices or the same device.
Yeah, got it.
So that way we can
Yeah.
at least come close to classifying
I
the channel.
assume when I hear a word, it's going to be super clear, not like,
Normally.
oh, this other stuff.
Even
Let me hear what you're hearing.
Take the other earbud.
Where's the other?
Hanging from it. You can spread them apart. They're cheap.
Cool.
They work.
Cool.
Yep, there you go. Yeah, a lot of times when I pass these out, because I do use 2 of them when I have my full groups.
Yeah.
this
I have
is
it really
exactly-
low right now because I have
I can
sensitive
hear it.
ears, but
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
It's just static.
no, there's other stuff that
There's
right.
radio. Like, are those numbers moving on your screen? Yeah. So it's sweeping through all of the radio stations right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, I've only heard static so far. Have you heard?
Yeah, there's other stuff coming through.
And when I spot check it, I also give you the markers. So
yeah,
that way
got
you.
it. I see what you're saying.
All right, so you kind of have a better gist of what you're listening for. Your
Yeah.
camera. There's only 3 of us out here, so part of the reason why I like using this camera on the smaller groups versus the other one is because the other tours and other places get a little nervous when we're trying to YouTube things kind of out. They look at us as vloggers. They don't want their cars being filmed, and they don't want to be filmed themselves. So if in the event somebody's walking by, you're just going to basically be holding a cell phone. It's much easier to hide in my other crazy contraption that I have. So again, you're going to try to do two things. I know it's a smaller group, and I just told you not to film people, but I do want you to try to keep one of us in view at all times, because we're going to be the warmest thing out here. It's going to give you that array of color you're looking for with the temperature differences.
Okay.
Much easier to spot cold spots when we have a hot spot. We're going to be 94 to 98 degrees on that camera. So the other piece you're going to try to do is keep the sky out. The reason why, the blue dots that I told you about, finding the coldest spot in the frame, it automatically defaults to the sky looking for a surface. There isn't one on the sky. So again, try to keep the sky out if you can. Again, it's going to be your video to watch, but I also have to spot check it. So I say we get the hell away from football players and ponies. Let's go dive into some history. What do you think?
All right.
Alyssa's like, yeah, we're ghost hunting. We're on this.
All right.
Do we need ghost hunting names?
How about Alyssa, Jeff, and Nick? That works.
Those aren't ghost hunting names.
They can be. They are now.
What's the best thing you guys ever saw
On a tour or my investigation?
on your tour?
I have sentences that I can make out between 3 to 4 different spirit boxes. So if they kind of come out in unison.
Like a message?
Yeah, like a full sentence.
What's
do
the
they
sentence?
say?
Yeah, what's the sentence?
So the space we're about to go to, I actually was using a reverse spirit box, which is a whole different type of technology. In real time, I heard baked beans breakfast come out of it, loud and clear. Like, it's not supposed to be able to interpret any type of terms. So it's basically gibberish. So watch your step. We're actually going to stop here for a second. But basically, and we're going to talk about this space, but I heard baked beans breakfast. The next day when I'm going through the data, the spirit box you're using said, I'll fix you, right before the baked beans breakfast piece, and then the word tea showed up on the word list. So I'll fix you, baked beans breakfast, and tea. Now, the person we're about to discuss is actually from England, and baked beans is a thing for breakfast in the UK, and I didn't know that in real time. So it was just a matter of, like, we had, like, this full message. Like, again, the UK obviously drinks tea over coffee, so it's a pretty big deal, and we were able to piece it all together. We do have full apparitions from the thermal camera in here, the camera that you're using. So, again, we've gotten a lot of things out of this space. So where the heck are we? Again, you guys are going to make me talk a lot. Let me take another drink.
Oh my gosh. No, do you want us to talk?
No.
What are we going to
I
talk
don't know
about?
the history of this space.
Alright.
I know it's just a parking lot, but I told you. I take you to spaces the other ghost tours won't go to, because normally they need to show you something. Like, hey, look at this creepy building. I'm taking you to spaces that used to be something.
Yeah.
And this used to be the Eliza and Charles Pinckney mansion.
Oh, interesting.
So who the heck were these people? Eliza and Charles, well, first off, I'm not going to be giving you questions like what color is George Washington's white horse, like what we did over there at the Red Barn. You're going to get the answers from your spirit box, and I am not going to give you all of my information. I'm going to withhold some on purpose.
Yeah, got it.
So, Charles and Eliza had a son named Charles. They also had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 different Charleses. Do you see why we look for the secondary verifier now? We need to know which Chuck we're chatting with. So, the son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. That's a pretty big deal, but I hate politics. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Eliza. I just like to bring it up because if I don't, it's going to show up somewhere else, almost in an angry format. Like if I don't recognize it, it's a big deal to the ghost. Trust me, I've seen it before.
Okay.
Now, Eliza married Charles at a young age, according to today's standards. If we're going to ask her how old she was when she got married, it's not going to be like 12 and 14, like the colonial times that she came from. It's going to be according to today's standards.
Okay.
The reason I bring that up is because her husband, Charles, was over double her age. Kind of a creepy age gap back in the 1700s, definitely a creepy age gap now. So kind of keep that in mind. But she married him because her father was over in England and he thought he was dying. He's trying to bring all of his kids home. Eliza didn't think he was dying, so instead she got married. In 1744. You don't get married in 1744 to get a green card because we're not even a country yet.
Right.
She did marry Charles out of love. So there's no affair or any kind of foul play at all. A lot of people like to poke that bear and it just pisses them off. Now, with that said, she was correct. Her dad didn't die. Instead, he started sending her gifts. One of those gifts happened to be the plant seeds of indigo. Indigo is a plant that makes blue dye, that makes our blue jeans blue. None of us are wearing it right now. I normally point out an example. She didn't know what to do with the seeds when she got them. She had to learn from her slaves that were on the property, which were standing in the servant quarters right now, how to keep this plant cultivated. It's not always hot here, as you know. Once she figured it out, she moves it to another plantation, calls her dad, and says, hey, rice plantations are going downhill. We can make a killing with the indigo.
How's she calling her dad in the 1700s?
Exactly. She sent a message by ship.
Okay.
You have to remember, I get a lot of teens on this tour. I have to figure out how to communicate with them and keep them interested in the damn history.
Okay.
Good catch. So, with that said, he starts giving her all kinds of contacts, and now we have an international businesswoman during colonial times. It's a pretty big deal. However, you guys are here for all the weird shit, so let's get into that. Eliza was, and we're just going to go through kind of a series of questions. I normally assign them to all the different spirit boxes, but we're only working with 2.
And my biggest problem is I'm so focused on like what is happening here. I'm not sure I can listen to the stories and do that.
So turn the volume down when I'm talking. When I'm giving you the histories.
Oh, I can turn it down when you're talking?
Yeah.
What if they're trying to tell me something now?
I'll catch it tomorrow morning because it's still recording at an even volume.
Oh.
Remember I said even Stevens? You can mess with that volume all night long.
Oh,
it's at your
okay.
comfort level.
Oh.
Yeah.
You have some special attention things to be able to listen to you and listen to that, but go on. All right.
So Eliza was the second wife named Eliza and Charles back to back.
Okay.
Really smart, really stupid. In the same year of 1744, his first wife died in January. So the second he married in May, 5 months later. Ironically, both Elizas have a maiden name that starts with the letter L. If we want to know which Eliza we're dealing with, we ask her maiden name, and hopefully we'll get it. It normally will show up on the spirit box with the words on it. So, actually, oh, look at that. There's the word T again. There's the word earthquake. So again, we're still 1 block away from Big John's. So, again, I like T because we were just talking about that. It's almost like they're listening. I don't know what recuse is. Does anybody know the definition of that?
Yes,
What
you
is it?
accuse yourself from trial or from representing somebody, like with your lawyer.
Okay.
I don't know if that's the only word it means.
I'll definitely get a definition. Whenever I see a word I don't know, I'm an English major, so if I'm stumped, I'm just going to look it up and admit it.
I've heard of it. Yeah, I just
People
don't know if I
recuse
would-
themselves from trial.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
True.
And I do like the term earthquake on there just because we were just discussing the earthquake. It's almost like somebody's listening to us and then repeating it back. Like, hey, we're here, we're listening, that kind of thing. So I don't have anything where I'm like, oh my god, check this out. But again, they're great first clues. So there's no infection that's going on in this particular space.
Yeah.
So we can ask Eliza what her maiden name was. Got to keep that open. The other pieces that we can do here is the mansion's not here anymore. We can always ask what happened to it. If we get an answer, ask when that actually occurred. Obviously, we're talking about some sort of tragedy. So we do get those answers all the time. When I say when that happened, we're normally looking for a date of some sort. So whether it's a number format, this thing is going off like crazy. I just want to see what letters we actually have because I can hear it going off.
E.
Look at all the letters on the bottom.
Okay.
That's what it caught based on any type of EMF. So you should be getting some kind of numbers on this guy, on your right hand. So this guy was just going off in my bag. I'm going to turn down the sensitivity just because it seems like it's giving us like too much. I don't see anything out of that besides the word dock, but I don't see how that's going to be relevant to this space. So we're going to clear it and start it off.
Yeah, I'm not looking at this one for anything. I'm looking at this one.
Yeah. Yeah, you should be looking for numbers.
Yeah, I forgot.
The children.
Do you want me to hold that? Because you don't have to do anything with this one.
Just take that guy. You seem like you're handling both.
Yeah.
So you can take the Ouija
What am I
board.
doing with this one?
We're waiting to see if anything's going to pop up out of there. Now, there's more questions we can ask. Now, I do want to kind of give you the whole, kit and caboodle here.
Yeah.
So, the children. I already told you there's one. His name was Charles.
Okay.
There are more. We can ask how many more and what their names were. After that, no more questions about the kids. There's a tragedy among the kids. If we poke the bear, then obviously shit's going to stop happening. We don't want to mess around with that. Eliza's death, we can ask how she died, what she died from, where she's buried, what president was a pallbearer at her funeral, like very specific questions.
And I
So-
should be getting an answer here?
Hopefully.
Okay.
So I'm going to be like kind of toying around with that sensitivity because I'm trying to find the sweet spot of when we're going to get the best kind of activity out of it. So the same thing with your camera, you want to try to keep it horizontal. So otherwise, because I send those videos to YouTube and it splices them all together. Otherwise, I don't want you guys to have sideways videos.
Right.
So we're going to take a quick peruse kind of through the lot here. We're going to not film any vehicles. Is that somebody standing near the car or is that just a shadow that I'm seeing?
Don't be creepy.
It's not me being creepy, it's whoever's standing
I
over
think
there.
it's just a shadow.
I think
Okay,
it's just a
perfect.
shadow.
I'd
Well,
say-
because if I went like this, they would show up,
They would.
right?
They would.
There's no person.
Okay, so I'm still going to take this like closer to that corner up there, like near the number 35, because that's kind of a hot spot of where we can actually
Okay.
get some things. Have you heard anything yet?
No.
Nothing you can make out?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so I'm going to shut up for a few minutes and let you listen in.
All right.
I may ask a question from time to time just to see if we can get some initials on Alyssa's new device and kind of take it from there. This is not what you thought you were getting yourself into, was it?
I had no idea. I thought I was going to have a Ghostbuster suit.
You
I
do.
feel chills though.
Look at all the crazy shit you guys are holding. Like, if you don't feel like a Ghostbuster now, I don't
My
know.
hair just stood up on my arm for a second.
Well, that's where you need to get temperature.
No, I'm serious.
I'm
Just
serious
now, back
too.
here.
She's holding a temperature gun, like in her hand.
What should I be seeing?
So if she has any kind of cold spot, like wherever she felt the chill, like there's a little bit of a breeze coming by.
It was back there.
Then her arm would actually probably turn a darker orange because she should be orange already and on her skin because her arm is bare. So it would probably turn a darker orange to start turning colder.
It's gone now though. I mean, it was just.
But your temperature's not going to change
Oh,
that quickly.
I see what you're saying.
No,
Oh, that's
nothing.
interesting.
Dark orange? I mean, it's all different color orange.
Right, so go ahead and hold out there. So see how this part of her arm is darker than the rest? So the white is hot. So the lighter this yellow gets, the closer to the heat it gets. This side of her arm is actually a little bit colder. So again, it's a possibility that she has the breeze hitting her arm right now. She felt that chill. But again, it's a darker orange because it's getting closer to that
Well,
blue.
it's on the other side though too. Look.
Yep. So again, we have a breeze coming through. This is why we do this. I'm not going to call everything paranormal.
Right. I got it.
But we have to, if she says she's a chill, I want to measure it.
Okay.
See where it's coming from.
Oh, okay. I was just letting you know, and I feel like
Yeah.
you're weird.
All right, so
It's a nice temperature today.
it is beautiful.
It's turned out beautiful.
Compared to the other nights, would be boiling.
So 2.5 weeks ago, like I was dripping
Yeah.
with sweat before I even met my
Yep.
group. Like just getting from my garage. to
Just standing
starting-
there.
No, now it's
Absolutely.
like super nice out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gorgeous. And it's like raining off the coast right now, so it can stay out there. Turn up that sensitivity because I haven't heard anything pop up out of there.
Well, maybe this isn't the place we're going to see ghosts. Maybe we have to go somewhere else.
Well, I'm gonna give it a minute.
Oh,
Ghost hunting is patience, always.
I heard the word time just now.
Okay. So these are things I write down. Sometimes the word time might mean something else going along with something else. And we have a letter.
oh, F,
F.
G, F, G. FGR. Doesn't spell anything though.
It doesn't. It's not even initials of anybody here. It would be relative to the space. Eliza, we want to see your initials on this new box that I have. You just got to get close to it when the cursor's on the letter on your initials. So we're looking for EP. Oh, she missed it.
No.
So because this box is so brand new, it's almost like you have to train the damn ghost on how to use
I
it.
just heard power.
Okay.
And you just want me to tell you weird shit that I heard.
Yep. Because again, I'm withholding information. You don't know what
Oh,
I'm looking
okay.
for.
Yeah.
I do that on purpose, so that way I'm not coercing you into it.
Children.
Okay. Eliza, do you want to tell us how many children? Give us a number.
I got M. FGRM. Oh, another letter.
What is it?
Q.
Okay. Wow.
Z. Whoa. What is this? A. What's going on here? There's no word, but I'm saying, what is this finding?
So anytime, like, it's basically working off of the EMFs that she's kind of capturing in these numbers. So anytime there's a spike in electric, field around the air, this is going to trigger to stop on the cursor. So it's almost like they have to get close to affect the electromagnetic field to be able to make this thing go off and stop it on the letters that they're trying to spell.
It doesn't spell anything.
Does it have an anagram amongst it? Like you gave
What's
me
an
a Z.
anagram?
It's like a jumble of words. So like a word jumble. So if you kind of see like AZELI, if you mix them together, it gives you the name Eliza.
No. I mean, I don't know. It's too many letters.
Well, that's why I come into play. That's where my degrees start coming in handy, because I start looking at words and what are the possibilities. You got anything else coming out of there? I'm watching your device. You're not getting anything at all.
Yeah, no. I will tell you though, I did just get a. Back there I had a chill, and over here I had a chill, but I didn't tell you guys because I was focusing on my thing.
Okay.
It was weird. I get these weird. It's gone now. Though.
Here comes a breeze. So
No, it's more like when your hair moves up here.
yeah,
That kind of thing.
let's kind of find another spot. We'll let you guys choose. Where do you want to go?
What's the next spot?
No, I mean like within the space. We're gonna try one more, like another 3 to 5 minute
okay.
little, and before I give you all the answers, and then we'll move on
Oh,
to
I
another
see.
space because you guys aren't giving me a whole lot where I'm saying like this is.
Yeah,
active
no,
and
I
active
don't have
tonight.
anything.
Because
for
not
you.
every space is going to be active every single night.
Should we try a different space?
We're going to. We're going to go to more spaces than this, but I like to always at least give this space at least 10 to 15 minutes to kind of see what's going on.
Okay, we'll go to 42. Will it delete all these letters now that it filled up all the letters?
Living.
No, it'll start overwriting them.
I heard living.
Living?
480.
So
Territory.
I want you to also kind of keep in mind that your spirit box being slowed down is going to give us extra words. So, what color is the big red barn? Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. I don't need Rudolph the nosed reindeer. I just need red. That was a direct answer. You just heard the number 480. How many children did you have, Eliza? She had 4.
Oh, I see what you're saying. It doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be the full 480.
480 might not. The number 4
she
was in
she
there.
found the number 4.
Yeah, okay.
Again, her children and 4.
Yeah, got
So-
it.
So Eliza, if one of the children are actually here, tell us what your name is. You know how to use all these boxes. You're filming your chest right now, just so you know. My wife's gonna come into my office tomorrow and go, "What the hell are you watching?"
Should I put it up my shirt?
No.
Oh, that is hysterical. Oh, that was creepy.
So what else?
Ah!
What happened?
Like,
What happened?
you know, like, it just creeps me out. Like,
The-
church singers, like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Gospel?
When they're like, oh,
Choir?
yeah, like a choir. It's just that always scares me. But yeah, it had nothing to do with anything. Because it was really loud.
I'm just getting the same gibberish.
Okay. So let's kind of reset it, and it'll clear it off for you.
Ghost stuff.
That's the name of the company that makes it. They're actually a warehouse down in Florida. They make a lot of the equipment that we use.
It's the same letter as before. F. Is it going to be GM again or MG?
I don't know. Let's find out. I wrote those other ones down.
I think
says
it's
the word
MG.
separate.
What?
It's almost like a direction, like telling us to separate. And I don't want to do that with a small group.
Oh, no.
Yeah, normally when I have my groups of 10 or 11, like we're all sprawled out all over the slot. And I'm bouncing around with everybody, taking notes of everything that they're hearing because they don't. I have 6 spirit boxes.
Yeah.
So everybody's got something going on a little bit different.
And I'm still looking for 50-degree temperature.
Based on whatever your ambient temperature is now. Like again, it's going to be about 75 degrees ambient based on, I always take note of the weather before I leave the house. I always have the moon phase written down, temperature, what the weather is. Like that'll all be in your notes tomorrow morning. Now we got
I.
F-I. If you're trying to spell something, let us know what the rest of it is. It says leading. Super leading. Still no numbers. So
FIO. There's no word FIO.
there's a 3.4.
That was weird.
What?
Why did it go 3.4 when you took it?
I don't know. May have been too close to the phone.
Oh.
No, because the phone's not.
Oh, I'm supposed to have you guys in the film, right?
Right.
To
Right.
see.
Is one of them Christopher?
No.
Chris?
Nope.
I just heard that.
Okay. It's still something to write down.
No, this still isn't spelling the word.
What do you have now?
FIOU.
What's that one?
N. R. FIOUNR.
said they are all beings.
What did we just talk about at the Big Red Barn?
I don't know.
They were delivery horses for milk and eggs.
Oh yeah, you did say that.
So we're still close to the Big Red Barn. This is what I call a bleed over, when you're getting other clues to other
Okay.
locations nearby.
Yeah.
So, and now you have the letter Z. So weird.
Why so weird?
Well, letter Z keeps showing up here, and that's just, again, it's a weird letter because it's not in a whole lot of words. Like, it's a difficult letter to use.
not.
But Eliza is spelled with a Z.
Yeah.
Are you hearing anything else?
They just said reach out. I mean, whatever I heard.
Okay, Eliza, I'm going to stop it here and give them all the answers. Last chance for a message to come through. Yeah, I mean, this thing will actually go all the way up in the triple digits here.
Really?
Like, oh yeah.
Yeah, no.
So, I mean, I've only seen that one 3.4. W now?
Yeah, it's still not
12.
Nice.
Did you see that?
It did. 12.1.
School.
Yeah, mine's still gibberish. I want to see a ghost. Should I ask to see a ghost?
It's almost disrespectful.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Alright, so go ahead and turn down your spirit box so I can give you all the answers.
Okay.
Kind of keep an eye on things. Let's go ahead and stop your video since we don't want, everything to be on your...
I didn't hear any.
Let's have a meeting note.
Back there, yeah.
Okay, so we're near a hotel room, so this is a quiet space. So again, I know you probably have the earbud in, and now you're okay. I just like to kind of give everybody the head. Yeah, we're next to Lodge Alley Inn. I'm going to give you the history of it, so you might want to turn it down.
Sorry, I was screaming.
You're screaming?
She was.
I don't really like
So, and she was talking loud. So, again, it's not a very popular tour spot. I like to stop here just kind of give you the layout of the land. Now, it was funny, the other night, we had like 4 tours down here at the same time. I'm like, what the hell is happening?
Interesting.
So, I don't know if somebody caught on to this space and what I've been doing down here, but again, it was very weird. And we actually saw some drunk girl almost fall into one of the garbage cans, and we have it all on film. It was hysterical. So that was their marker from that video, because we were using a different style of camera. Now, what is this place? This is Lodge Alley. When we cross that last crosswalk coming down East Bay Street, that's where the original Charlestown Wall used to be. You're standing on one of the first streets we ever had.
Oh, interesting.
So, people used to live here. What letters are you getting?
EF.
Now, that we had a 1 point something. It was probably coming from that device. She had it right next to each
1.2,
other.
yeah.
So I have the full list of residents of every person that's ever lived down here. So I get the same names every 6 to 7 weeks. Now, right now we're in week 1 of that loop that I keep track of. So I wasn't really expecting you to hear the 2 names. The 2 names are Benjamin and John. Now, Benjamin and John. When I say I have the full list of people, it's not impressive. It's just like 2 to 5 people that live down here on a given year. So Benjamin and John, there were 2 people that lived here in 1801 with those names. Now John likes to give us his last name because there were 4 different Johns that lived down here in a 60-year time frame. So John likes to give us his last name of Johnson. His mother must have been evil, naming him John Johnson. But we will get Ben, John, and Johnson within that 6 to 7 week loop. I haven't been able to pinpoint it and see what the conditions are that make that happen.
Okay.
But here's why it's happening. You're standing on Belgian blocks. These Belgian blocks are made of granite. They are not supposed to have any electrical charge to them whatsoever. In other words, you can set your device on the ground and we should only get a 0 to a 1.1, which is natural EMF from the earth. So in the event you set it on the brick, pick any brick and just set it down. Hopefully we're going to get a reading above that 2.5. So I've seen it go all the way up to 15 before in this location. 0.7. Again, I'm looking for 2.5 and higher. See how it's at a 0.0? We got
Try
nothing.
move it?
Yeah. You can move it, try another brick. Try not to be too close to the building. Perfect. That was actually a good brick. See 0.3, 0.4. Again, natural EMF that we would normally get from the earth. So you can go ahead and pick it up because we're not going to get a reading out of it. Now, here's what's going on with this. These bricks, because we're not in that loop. Again, I still test it every night just to kind of see what's going on. Now, these bricks have been here since 1739 that we know of.
Yeah.
So the historians don't even know exactly how long they've been here. All we know is they've been here for a few hundred years. The stone tape theory basically states that a natural stone or brick that's been in the same place for a long period of time can hang on to the consciousness of the memories of the things that occurred here. So it's kind of like, think of somebody on her wedding day and she passes away on her anniversary and she only shows up on her anniversary. So the stones will actually capture that memory and spit it back on the anniversary.
Okay.
So again, it's the same principle. Do I have any information about Benjamin and John in 1801? I don't. I just have a paranormal theory that I've been testing night after night after night after night, and I see a pattern of every 6 to 7 weeks when those names start to show. The other interesting thing about this space is that the Freemasons actually had a Masonic lodge here before the people lived here, before there were residents. That's where it got its name from. So, Masonic Lodge, Lodge Alley. We will get terms from time to time based on the Freemasons. So we will get the term symbols, we'll get Illuminati will show up on your Red Spirit box that you're listening to, and that's a funny one because who the hell's talking about the Illuminati on the radio? And we only get it in this space. 6 times last year, 3 times this year so far. Yeah, craziness. But we will get all kinds of terms wrapped around the Freemasons as well. So again, I don't have anything going on with mine. Again, I don't like to, spend a lot of time in here. Just because, again, we're next to a hotel room. We are going to go to another alley. Can I see your list of letters real quick? Lots of G's in there, huh? Yeah, I got nothing on that. So we're going to clear you out, start you out fresh. We're going to go to another alley, but the funny thing about that alley is we can't go all the way through it like what we're doing now. It's a popular tour stop, and all the other tours like to go through it. However, I've been kicked out. So
you got kicked out?
I did.
Why?
Because it is considered residential at the end. So my team, I would take them all the way through, but I'll explain that story once we actually get down there. Because again, it kind of shows you why we go to the very last stop after that. So let's head up to that another alley. As we exit, you're going to stop your video because we're going to be cutting through a neighborhood, and we don't record houses just like we don't record cars. So,
Okay.
But yeah, pay really close attention to what you're listening for.
Okay.
This is probably going to go off more because we're going to be around more parking.
Okay.
Areas. So let's kind of see what we got.
Should we have gotten something yet?
Again, this is
2.7. 2.7.
And I got React. Like you're giving mechanical React. Very interesting.
Is it still 2.7?
No, it went away. So again, if it was staying steady, that would be normally from something man-made. So again, if it said 2.7, 2.9, 2.7, 2.9, it's probably coming from something man-made that's just giving off an electrical pulse, like a cell phone.
I see what you're saying.
So again, when you have a 2.7 and then it just goes away right away, again, those are the things that we kind of look for. But again,
Right, I see. You don't want it to last.
right, we want them to be quick.
I keep getting such gibberish.
And I don't know if you noticed or not, but you're getting like a lot of letters around the same time that she's getting her numbers.
No.
Band.
Go ahead and stop your video at this point.
I can't tell if I stopped it.
Nope. The other tours are already down here.
That's a good sound. Everybody is now. Nice.
Ooh, I saw a person.
Yeah, there's a lot of people down there.
No, like walking beside you.
What? Was it just like a casted?
Is it just like a casted?
So, you see how like the white lines are
Yeah.
there? Was it a white line or was it a whole other person?
No, it was like a white line in the shape of
So
a
what that's
person.
doing, because this camera doesn't see in 3D, it gives us white lines to kind of differentiate the temperature differences so we can actually see it in 3D the way our normal eyes would look at a video.
Okay,
So again,
so I wasn't seeing the ghost.
We don't have to go down there.
no, I'm going to show you this.
It's pretty in here.
It's very pretty. I've never been
This is
there.
probably one of my favorite spaces in Charleston.
I'm taking my husband down here.
So check this out. Let me tell you why this gate is here. So
Is that somebody's house?
no,
Yard?
no, it's a courtyard.
Oh, it's just a
So St. Philip Cemetery is that way, it's just to the left.
Oh, okay.
So here's why this gate is here. This gate is here in the event that there was a loser to the duel. It was a shortcut
Oh.
to get to the cemetery, so they can drop the dead
Shut
body
up.
off.
That's crazy.
So otherwise, they'd have to go all the way down to Queen Street and bring the body all the way around. That's dead weight of a 160 to 200 pound man.
Yeah.
So this was a shortcut. That's why this gate is here.
Okay.
It always stays locked. So the property on the other side belongs to St. Philip's Church.
Oh, okay.
So it's just a courtyard. They use it for like wedding receptions
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that kind
I
of
see.
thing.
It's the church. It's
Yeah.
the church
So,
thing. Okay.
but yeah, I love showing off this gate.
But wait, so like if you're not a ghost person tour, like can you walk through here as a person?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just.
But
don't
they're a
want-
ghost tour.
They just
They
don't.
are.
want-
We're only allowed to go down halfway.
Yeah, I see.
That's why they stop there?
Right.
They don't want like.
Yeah.
Regular people could cut through here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But they're a ghost tour right now.
I interviewed my husband. And I've never been over here before.
It's pretty.
When it cools off, we'll take the dogs and like just walk around down here when there are no tourists.
Oh, you've never been in this area at all?
Not early. I never
This is
even knew
actually
this
like a
existed.
passageway for a lot of people to get to work. Like you'll see a lot of, like when I investigated the space, I just came down here with all my gear and just sat. Like there's little places you can, like little stones and
Yeah.
stuff like this. I just sat down and started running my gear and see what I was getting out of it.
Oh, okay. So
That's how
they
I
don't
did
care if they just don't want like.
Yeah. So again, it's residential. We're not allowed in residential
Yeah,
areas.
that's understandable. All right, my turn in my thing. Am I going back into my world?
You can.
This is like the best thing that's ever happened to me. I can just be quiet and listen.
How did you get suckered into this?
Oh, no,
She
it's my
made me do it.
suggestion. She told me to look up things I wanted to do.
Oh, this was your idea?
Yeah.
I was like, I gave a few suggestions. A ghost tour, a sunset cruise, a speedboat. Whatever I could find.
So what happened with the date that was supposed to be for yesterday? Like what happened there?
No, it's supposed to be tomorrow.
Or yeah, that's what I
Oh,
said.
because there's a guy playing at the Windjammer I wanted to go listen to
Gotcha.
on the beach. Well, and then it revolved around rain because tomorrow's supposed to be a nicer day.
That's
And
why I'm
then
surprised that you actually wanted to come do this tonight because, I mean, most ghost tours won't cancel on a rainy day.
well, that's what I thought. I figured, you know what, we could always walk around like
In the rain.
with a jacket.
Yeah, I won't do it in
on.
the rain.
We don't care.
Well, I got $5,000 worth of equipment that can't handle it.
That was my logic to that. Like, oh well, if it's drizzling, who cares?
Yeah, I do.
So I didn't.
That means
I didn't know that though. But anyway, so that's what
That's why,
happened.
I reset the weather the whole way down here just to make sure we were going to be clear.
Yeah, it's beautiful actually
Yeah, this
tonight.
Is that why the other people canceled? Because of the rain?
I don't know. They didn't give me a reason. Like they did it through TripAdvisor.
Oh, wait, my camera disappeared again.
You keep breaking my shit.
I mean, I'm doing it with one hand.
Yeah,
And it's heavy.
it is heavy.
Are we supposed to turn this back up?
I would actually want to kind of leave it where it's at for right now, just to see if it's going to give us anything.
They just said the boundaries are different today.
So, where the heck are we?
Am I not supposed to be listening?
Yeah, I would turn it down. Did you get anything along the way? I know we were chatting.
It said the boundaries are going to be different today.
Oh, that's funny.
Just
so-
now, like
yeah.
when we were walking through there.
So the wall that we talked about earlier, I told you about the Charlestown wall.
Uh-huh.
It stood right there, right where that garage was.
Okay.
Oh, that's where we're parked,
The boundaries.
right?
This is Cumberland Street. Where you guys parked in a garage.
Yeah, I moved our.
Yes.
Yes.
So, let's talk about why we're here. That's funny. I don't normally bring up all the Charleston wall.
I mean,
stuff
it was
until-
super clear.
Yeah, the boundaries are going to be different today.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're actually going to be talking about that little tiny building over there with the crosses on it.
I was just looking at that. Yeah.
Isn't that the powder building?
It is. So
Look at me. I don't even live here and I know it.
I bring this back here because we're going to see a lot of tours cut through here. They may even stop and kind of give their little, whatever story they're doing and move on. But we're going to discuss the building and pirates because we're here for a specific reason.
It's starting to rain. Do you care about your equipment?
We're okay right now. It's not like a super long drizzle. So, again, if it starts getting a little heavier, we'll get underneath the trees and hopefully save
Well, there's
some
a
gear.
garage right there.
Yeah, there's also the garage. I've given the end of this tour in that garage before.
Yeah.
Of course, now you're getting letters. Oh, now there's the drizzle for sure. Let's take a quick peek at the weather. Oh, I got the word document and helpful. All right, weather. That's what we want, right? There's nothing.
Yeah, I don't. It's. You just don't want like a downpour.
Yeah. And a steady drizzle for like more than 15 minutes. I'm like, yeah, we gotta call it. But that's okay. We're gonna start discussing what's going on here. That building with the crosses, those are not crosses. Those are earthquake bolts. So you've probably heard that term from living here.
Yes, I have.
If you're not familiar with earthquake bolts, they're basically turnbuckles.
Yeah.
So in the event we have another earthquake, like what we did in 1886, which we have not,
I never saw them that big though.
the reason why, that's the first set of earthquake bolts they put in. Why? It's the oldest government building in South Carolina. It was finished in 1713. We are here because this building would be what I would call a familiar. This is the same time period that Anne Bonny came to Charleston to start her new life. So, this building took 10 years to build. Does that sound like our government small building, 10 years? No, not at all. But her story begins right in the middle of its construction. So, 1708. Follow me, there's a lot of twists. Is your volume down?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, 1708. Young lady moves here by the name of Anne Cormack. She's with her father and his mistress. They're leaving Ireland to come here. The mistress is Anne's mother. Are you with me so far? Anne's with her dad and his mistress. The
Okay,
mistress
I was
is
just
Anne's
gonna
mom.
say I'm.
Is this a riddle?
No, I'm just making sure you're following.
The mistress is Anne's mom.
I feel like that's
But
a
she's not
riddle.
the mistress then.
Oh yeah, she is. The reason why is because they're leaving Ireland to get away from his wife.
Oh, I see.
Do you see where I'm going with that?
Yes.
If I say that too fast, everybody gets lost.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
So, how pissed off was she, by the way, that they left the whole damn country by boat to come here? They land
So
in
the
Georgia.
wife got left.
Yeah, she got left
Done.
behind.
Yeah.
So, they land in Georgetown. Dad bought a plantation. Mom died pretty quickly. Anne's mother. So-
Georgetown,
Mhm.
north of here.
Yep. So he bought a plantation. It was probably a rice plantation based off of the location.
Okay.
But anyway, when Mom died, that means he has to send young Anne down to Charleston to be able to sell anything from the plantation, which is why we're here. We don't have many buildings this old. It is something familiar. Now, Anne is said to be seen all over town, but again, something familiar will kind of draw her to it. Here's the rest of the story. Back home in Ireland, Anne was kind of a badass. They say she actually killed one of her servants when she was only 10 or 12 years old with a knife to the belly. Yeah, so hardcore chick. Just kind of putting that mentality of her in the back of your brains. With that said, we're going to fast forward. The building's done in 1713. Pirates are coming through Charlestown in 1715. Anne is stoked. She's going to fall in love pretty quickly because she wants her freedom like a man. So, first guy she falls in love with, yes, I said first because there is a good handful of them. His name is James Bonny. You can already see where this one's going. Dad didn't approve. He's a filthy pirate. They run away, they elope, and get married. And Cormac is now Anne Bonny. Now, when they get down to Jamaica, she realizes that her new husband is not the Captain Jack Sparrow that she was hoping for. This guy is
That's so weird. We were talking about Captain Jack Sparrow at dinner.
Yeah, it's very. Yes, we were talking about all of this at dinner. but-
That's weird.
Well, I'm going to get into Captain Jack Sparrow a little bit further and where he was based off of. So, this guy is a privateer, James Bonny, the husband. Privateer meaning he's a spy for the British. This is not who she wants. He's a coward. So she falls in love again a few years later. His name is John Rackham, a.k.a. Calico Jack. This is the Captain Jack Sparrow that she was hoping for because this is literally the captain that they based Captain Jack Sparrow's character off of for your Disney movies.
Okay.
So his name's Calico Jack. He does have his own ship and wants to be part of it. You can't put a girl on the crew because of bad luck. So he makes a deal with her. You dress like a guy, you can be part of the crew. But you're going to be a female in my quarters. She's okay with this because Dad used to hide her as a boy back home in Ireland to keep her away from his wife. He dressed her up as an apprentice at his law firm.
Oh my God,
so
that
she's-
is twisted.
So, she's okay with now she's a pirate, she's good with it, but she's a female in his quarters. Let's put two and two together. She's eventually going to get pregnant. You cannot have a pregnant pirate dude on the crew. Somebody's going to figure out that she's a female and that Jack let her on the ship, so they're going to end up
Right.
voting Jack off. So what Jack does is he drops her off in Cuba. Go have the baby, come back later, we'll figure it out. She has a baby but returns with no child. No amount of research will tell you what happened to this child. Trust me, I've been digging. The weird thing about her coming back is that she's dressed like a female. This is now going to make the entire crew underneath Jack's command aware that she's a female. This makes Jack pretty angry. And while she was gone giving birth, he captured another pirate crew and they're down below deck. Anne's going to go flirting with that crew because first off, that's what Anne does, but she's also trying to make Jack even more mad. The guy she's flirting with down at the captured pirate crew turns out to be a female dressed like a guy to be part of the pirate crew that Calico Jack just captured. So now we have two females dressed
Okay.
as males, dressed trying to be pirates. So this young lady's name is Mary Reed, by the way. She went by Mark Reed to become part of that pirate crew. So her and Mary become friends, possibly lovers. We're never going to know for sure. And the British find out where they are.
My lord.
I told you, this is a crazy story. The British find out where they are, and they send an entire fleet of ships to come take down one pirate ship. So Anne and Mary are the only two pirates not drunk enough to come up and fight with one bullet flintlocks.
Oh my
Probably because they don't know how to use the
so
cannons yet.
funny.
Yeah. Obviously going to get captured. Two ladies taking on a fleet of ships is not going to work out.
Yeah.
So as they're being arrested, Anne looks at her captain, her beau, Calico Jack, and says, "You should have fought like a man instead of being hanged like a dog." So the word dog does show up on our spirit boxes a lot here. Now, the judge, his name is Nick as well. So again, if you hear my name here, it's one of three. So I'm being number 2. But he wants to see the two men that fought back so valiantly by themselves. So he's already tried and hung Calico Jack and the drunk pirates that wouldn't fight, so they're dead and gone. But the two ladies go in front of the judge, reveal their gender, hoping that he's going to free them. And he doesn't care that they're female. They're still pirates. He's still going to hang them. "We plead our bellies," was the last thing they said, because you can't hang a pregnant woman in 1720. It's illegal. So he sends them both back to jail, delays the hanging. Dad is still here in Charleston with all of his Irish money. He brings Anne back home, bails her out. She remarries. That's husband number 2, but guy number 4, because we're going to count Mary Reed. She has 4 kids and dies at the age of 84. That's all we know about her life after her pirate career.
Interesting life.
Mary Reed. She dies a year later, 1721, in that Jamaican jail from whatever pirates die from in a Jamaican jail. We don't know if either pregnancy claim was true. We don't know anything about it. As far as questions, I'm not going to go through a whole slew of them because
Why Jamaica?
That's where pirates went.
Havana.
Huh?
Havana, Nassau.
That's the pirate trade, I think.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, so all of those islands down there, that's
Okay.
where all of the pirates basically, that's where their hideouts were.
Okay.
So, like I said, Nassau was a big one because they were starting to form a democracy down there. They had
Okay.
their own republic. So it was a big deal.
All right.
There's actually a great documentary that actually feels like a movie.
What's that?
It was called the Lost Kingdom of Pirates.
Oh,
was a
I would
mo-
love to watch that.
It's on Netflix. It's amazing.
The Lost Kingdom of Pirates?
Yeah, it's like 6 hours.
Oh my.
Oh, like
Like
episodes.
a mini-series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I want to say there was maybe 6 or 8 hours. I can't
Okay.
remember, but I watched it in one sitting.
that
But I
up.
couldn't stop watching. But again, Anne Bonny started her career here. The reason why we're here is because of the building. But there's only 2 questions that I left out because, again, we're dealing with pirate lore. Trying to put facts together is very difficult. The name of Anne Bonny's parents, I didn't reveal in the history that I told you, so we can ask what Anne Bonny's parents' names were. The other thing that we can do is ask about Calico Jack's ship. So, again, I didn't give you that name either when I was giving you the history.
Oh, okay.
So, I think we should just kind of hang out here underneath the trees, kind of block some of the rain,
Okay.
kind of see what we got going on here.
It's not bad under here.
No, it's not bad at all.
So when you said Anne Bonny's parents, I didn't see anything. But I was thinking of the song we were singing yesterday. Was the parent named Fanny?
No.
Oh, that was the name
will
I was
tell you-
thinking of.
Here's the word sand.
my gosh,
Let me tell you why this is relevant in this space. That's a very specific term.
Sand.
The building you're looking at, it was designed to hold gunpowder. So,
Yeah.
And it's up in the corners of the walls on purpose. So if it gets attacked from a pirate ship from 3 blocks away by the water, it's going to have a hard time making it through here. But if the cannonball makes it this far and blows up the gunpowder inside, there's sand in the roof, still there, that's supposed to go up in the air and then fall to put out the fire of the gunpowder. The sand is still
that's
there
crazy.
from
Yeah,
early
that's very
1700s.
relevant.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that one.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, we got the number 6. Okay, great. So I have to tell that story too if something else pops up. So I'm going to wait for something else to pop up. Have you heard anything? You got that
I
thing turned up yet?
thought. I mean, I thought I heard James. I don't know, or some. Yes, I thought something James.
I always go
It
with
may have
whatever
been
your
part.
first.
It may have been part of something, but James.
I always go with your first instinct.
Yeah. There was a James something in there.
And what was funny was when I first started coming over here, somebody heard the term rack of ham. I'm like, before I even said John Rackham's name, and it is spelled Rackham.
Oh, interesting.
So he's like, what's rack of ham? And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me
That's
right now?
crazy.
So yeah, that was actually a pretty good night. The heated warning that I normally give while you're listening, I normally tell my folks because this is where one of the big events happened, and it is actually relevant to the story.
really?
So back in September of last year, I brought my entire group back to the wall, and the kid next to me starts to go white as a ghost. Like literally, he's about to drop. I have to pick him up by his armpit before he hits his head on the pavement. His boyfriend picks him up from the other side. We take him over to the brick wall because I know there's a little step there he can sit on. He starts to feel better after some water. About 10-15 minutes later,
I heard step.
I then tell them the story that I just told you. after I separate everybody with all their devices, go have fun, get some footage, all that stuff, they pull me aside and say, Nick, we have to tell you, we are 2 transgender males, meaning I had 2 females dressed as males, just like Anne and Mary in the story, on the tour.
That's why.
And it made complete sense to us as to why one of them nearly passed out the minute we came in here. Now, it was a nice, cool
Before
night.
you told the story?
Before I told the story.
Huh.
But they didn't reveal that this is the end.
Yeah.
So again, they didn't know anything that I was about to say. So again,
That's
that's part of the
interesting.
reason why. Those are shit I can't
Like,
explain
that's
that.
crazy. Yeah, you can't make that up.
Right, and why would I? I know I went to school for writing, but again, I'm
Yeah.
good, but not that good.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
That's
yeah.
a crazy story.
Yeah.
So, again, that was one of the instances, and I've had psychics pass out where I called EMTs, and they tell me later that they were psychic, and they were getting too many messages, and then they email me later, like, of what Eliza was trying to tell her, and things that actually I learned from. So, one woman was telling me about a dress, and the color yellow kept coming up, then the color pink, and then it's at a museum, and tell me this, that, and the other. Like, and I started looking into dresses that were owned by Eliza, and there was a pink dress and a yellow dress at separate museums that were restored, one for a family member for a wedding, and another one, I think, was just because it was in such tattered disarray that they had to fix it because of who Eliza was.
I heard Gabe, and then the other thing was somebody's gonna get struck.
Somebody's going to get you struck. And why don't you tell us what color your hair was?
Like, did you hear his radio?
So what's the radio saying?
Relax. Was that relax? Don't do it.
George Michael? Like,
Yeah, but maybe it wasn't.
I got all kinds of bit up today.
So I just was looking too. I just got a bite.
Let's get your sensitivity up.
COVID-19.
Yeah.
The number 19 doesn't mean anything to me. Like, I start going through birthdays of the people I know that are relative to the space, and there's like 15 stories here. So again, I had the number 6 show up. That's a whole other story.
Right.
So I'm waiting for another clue to come through for that, or whatever you guys are hearing, or whatever else we get on our word list, and that kind of thing. So if nothing shows up, then obviously I'm not going to tell the story.
Right.
What letters do you have?
MS.
I just said awfully and then hated.
It's so hard to
It's
catch
separate.
what they're
It was separate
saying.
though. No, I mean I'm used
Sometimes it's not.
You get better at it as you...
It was hard, really hard in the beginning, but now the more I was listening, the more I could
Yeah, the longer you do it, like, the easier it gets. If you see that your notes...
that. Yeah.
And I listen to that every morning. Like, that's...
Maybe Mr. That's Chris. MST.
My first cup of coffee, that's what I'm doing. I'm listening to your recording. Yep. I gotta get it done.
Oh, our recording. I thought you meant you just sit and listen to this, like to get messages.
No, I'll listen to
Listen to what
your
we
recordings.
did. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why I keep the notes, so that way I can kind of keep
You
tally
didn't
on
hear
where we're
other things that I didn't hear.
Like, I'm writing down the location of where we are.
Yeah.
And those kind of things. And you had MS show up.
MST.
MST. Yeah, I got nothing on that.
He was bound.
Yeah, I heard that too. You have to like think so quickly to process it.
That's why I was so focused into my own world.
It's not easy. What was the next letter?
B. N.
Let's see if you get 3 of those.
3 what?
3 M's. There's 3 Nicks that are relevant to this space, me being one of them. The second one is the judge from Anne Bonny's Story, and on the other side of the Powder magazine is the Nicholas Trott House. So he was the first Chief Justice of the United States. Again, 3 N's, 3 Nicks. My name shows up here a lot. And people will hear it before they know, like, that it's that relevant. What's that letter?
K.
It's not even-
Justified. Well,
Speaking of, did you ever see that show? Anybody? It's the best show ever. You guys both should watch it. It's like the best show ever made. It's
called Justified?
It's called Justified. It's so good.
No, I never
The
saw
star guy, he's so hot. He's been in a few shows. I can't think of his name right now. He's awesome. He was in The Shield also, which is another amazing show. I can't think of his name though. He's so cool. Timothy Oliphant. Maybe he wasn't in The Shield. Anyway, go watch Justified. It's like the best show ever.
So this won't have anything here?
At times, we'll get some numbers,
Yeah.
but the closer we get to those bushes over there, the higher your numbers go because of the parking meters. You just hit the light.
It just went 4.2 in just a second. Just right before you started playing
There you
around.
got all kinds of...
Yeah, just right before you...
I wonder if my watch is making...
Oh, maybe.
It's a new watch. I haven't tested it
Maybe.
on there yet. I won't write it down because it... What are the other the last set of letters after K?
FGRX.
Wow. Yeah, that's a whole lot of nothing. All right, I say we call it and head over to the wall so I can kind of give you those two little measly answers. And another X. It's weird.
We're getting answers? Oh,
Yeah, to those two little functions.
Her mom's name or something.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't get... Maybe I'll get it now. That's very interesting on the earthquake things, though.
Yeah, that's the first set. That's why they're so big,
Yeah.
because they didn't know what they were doing yet.
Yeah.
All right, so two measly answers. Anne Bonny's mother's name was Mary Brennan. Her father's name was William Cormack. So normally you guys will come to me, and it's funny, the teenagers usually get like, I'll get one that says, I just heard William, and then the other one come running up to me and say, I just heard Mary. And it's like, it's funny, it's always teenagers that hear it. The name of Calico Jack's ship was the Kingston.
Okay.
So I don't normally expect the full name Kingston to come up, but the
Yeah.
word King would actually suffice here.
Yeah.
So again, we don't get it very often. That's why I have you guys keep probing with it. As far as Anne Bonny's hair color, it is red. So again, it's a very simple one-syllable word that we
Yeah.
have gotten in the past. So that's why I'll ask that one from time to time.
So that's interesting. So the more people you have with these, the more information you're gonna get.
Oh yeah,
Right.
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And each person gets all their own equipment?
Yep. So the only thing that is duplicated is the red spirit box that you're using,
Yeah.
but the other one that I give out isn't recording. So I kind of usually get a feel for people to see if like somebody has some experience, so that way I don't have to kind of spot check theirs, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense.
But yeah, I mean, you could see, I mean, I've got cameras and other EMFs and all kinds of craziness in here. Like, it is just, everybody gets a job. There's laser grids that go with the other camera. Like, it gets a little nuts.
Yeah, I didn't keep track of that.
I upload everything and write everything down.
Oh, and that's when you go back and do your like little investigation or whatever.
Yeah, so even when I'm like running, if I go and help out another team, I kind of recruit 2 or 3 people to kind of help me out with handling some of the equipment, just because there is so much of it. But when I'm out here with you guys, you know, I'm normally sold out, so normally the bag is completely wiped out. Any other crazy others?
No, just still lots of crazy letters. I just got like a million bug bites.
Yeah. I think it's because it drizzled
The
a little
rain,
bit.
yeah. Just like all of a sudden, got so many.
But you know, my wife went to school for photography and graphic design, and she's like, you need a new bag because everything in there is all, like, the other one I had was much smaller.